Well, the time for me at Xenomania was sort of coming to an end, or if I sensed it was coming to a sort of conclusion, because we weren't doing as many third-party groups. We weren't doing so many records for labels. We were doing a lot of new artists, and the new artist thing is all well and good, but it's really hard to get off the ground. You know, it's so few new artists break every year, so to make a living at it is really hard. So I was become aware as well through C64 Audio a few years before that there was this retro scene, really, and I saw someone pointed me in the right direction of Chris Hulsbeck's Kickstarter, and I was amazed to see that so many people were prepared to buy the album, of Chris looking again at his stuff. Just sort of surprising that so many people wanted that, and sort of pleasing as well that so many people wanted that music hadn't all been forgotten, that whole era hadn't been forgotten. So yeah, it became apparent that perhaps it could work, perhaps I could do a similar thing. Alistair Brimble had done one as well, and I was surprised that some of the bigger names hadn't, Martin and Rob hadn't considered it. Maybe they had, but it just seemed like the right time to do it. And I just thought, well, if I don't do this now, then I'm going to get into something else, and then it won't be done, because it looks like it's a full-time project, which it turns out it is. To do something like this project, it has to be funded properly, and to be honest, Kickstarter couldn't have been any less perfect for it, because it's set up in such a way that it's designed for just these type of projects, I think, where if enough people want to see it happen, it will, and you can not have to worry about investing loads of money into a project that I could have funded it all myself, put everything I've got into it, and then find that only 10 people want to buy it at the end of it. So, which would have been a disaster.
Martin Galway never really agreed that much with people remixing his SIDs, but did you have enough niggles with the way you'd done things prior to see the potential to bring them up to date?
What, in regards to Martin's or mine?
No,
to mine. I had to see if it was going to work. Yeah, so I had to do that first one first to see that I could actually do it. One thing thinking I could do it, and another thing actually getting it done. So it became a priority in sort of August of 2014 now, to get that done, to see that it could work. And yeah, within a couple of days I thought it was working. It probably took me about two to 3 weeks to perfect that preview one. It's not even perfected actually, because it's going to undergo some makeover before the final version anyway, but it was enough to put out there and see, because if no one liked that, then the rest of the project would have been no go. So
how important was Last Ninja 2 to this project?
Pretty important. Last Ninja 2's got a big following. It's got a following for a lot of reasons. It's a good game. It's got people attach a lot of not sentimentality to it, but it takes them back. It's one of those key games when they were growing up, and it's quite a wide age range of people who are into it as well. I get people who contact me now who are probably only 10, 11, 12 when they were playing it, so they were a good 5-6 years younger than me. But just as well, it's people of the same age as me who used to play it, Gaming was big then, but it was nowhere near the scale it is now. So yeah, I think there's a combination of things. I think the music's more important than perhaps some people would say it is on that game, but I think it's the overall package with that.
How did you get involved with System 3 and Last Ninja?
System 3 came about because normally they were using Rob. Rob was about to go to the States, to Silicon Valley, I believe. and I'd just had Driller released, which was getting some good reviews, what little reviews there were at the time. And I don't really know who gave my number to Mark, but I just got a call from Mark Cale through, I think it may have been someone connected with maybe Thalamus, maybe. I'm not entirely sure how Mark got in contact with me, but he said they needed a loading tune for Bangkok Nights, and they needed it within a few days. So I said I'll do it. Rob had already done the in-game music, so I just tried to do, I wasn't asked to do a Rob Hubbard impersonation, but it was something along the lines that he might do, so I just tried to do that. And I took it up to System 3's offices the following week. I think this was either early November, late November. It was early November in '87. And Mark listened to it. He said, "Yeah, that's great. Just a job." We went for a drink, and he said, "Would you like to come and work for us full time? Exclusive contract. And by the way, the first project is the follow up to Last Ninja." So yeah, I said yeah. He basically just said name your price, which I did, and he accepted. And then when we actually got down to it, it went down. But that's the way. That's the way of the world. Yeah. So that's how that came about. And that was in November '87. I quit my full-time job, which I was an office clerk in a local firm. I quit that in January, gave them a month's notice, and late January I started working on Last Ninja.
Did you see any concept art or any game design? Yeah,
I went to their house up the other side of Watford, where John Twiddy was working. Tim Best, the designer, was there. Hugh Riley was there as well. There's a couple of other guys living there. It was basically a house of programs, basically, and games. So we went up there. Tim Best had storyboards, and we went through what I could see where they were up to on the program. I'd go away, come up with a bit of music for that level, and come back the next week and play it, and hopefully get the thumbs up. And that's pretty much how we went on. I probably only went there 5 or 6 times, actually, to be honest. It was pretty much just to deliver maybe 2 or 3 tracks at a time. And this process went on from January till, I think, late March, April, early April I'd finished, and then there was one more track needed. They needed the final battle. And that's one track that I did feel didn't sit with the others, and it's one that's benefited the most from a remake, I think, because now it's been elevated back up again with some of the other tracks. Have we got what we need?
I think we covered pretty much everything, didn't we?
Sure we did. You didn't get my views on God and things.
I think we know what God
and his non-existence.
Thank you so much, guys.